Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the worst lathe in the world. And it's all mine. Ain't she a beauty? It says Paul Schulz & Co. Werkzeugenmaschinenfabrik Leipzig-Mockau. I don't think this is the maker of the lathe. It's probably a retailer. It won't start unless you help it along. At first I thought the capacitor was kaput, but when I removed the belt, the motor starts just fine. So I guess it doesn't have that much torque, because it can't get this thing going on its own. When you put it in the higher gears, I can't even get it to run. No go. I don't think this setup is original, because with that 1000 RPM motor, the spindle would run almost, I guess, over 2000 RPM, which is a bit high for an old girl like this. Doesn't run too bad. Takes forever to stop. There's the motor tag. You can't read it because I'm filming this upside down, so I guess I'll have to find out how to flip it. In the lowest gear, it sometimes starts. Depending on the position of the spindle. (305 RPM), and that's the lowest setting. I bought this wonderful machine because I need a motor for another lathe that I'm fixing up, and I thought with the nice step pulley, this would be ideal. It's only a half horse, but it should be enough. It can run on 3-phase, so I'm using it with a VFD. To change the belt, or to change the speed, you use this lever to loosen the belt. It just lifts up the motor, and you can select another groove on the pulley. And with a long pulley like this, I don't think it's a problem if the belt doesn't line up exactly, so that'll give you some more speeds. It's a nice looking retro starter switch. There she goes. Here's the sloppy slides. And they work backwards. There's the tailstock. It's also a thing of beauty, but at least it runs in the right direction when you turn the handle. It's pretty loose. You can tighten it down with this thing. It clamps down the barrel. If you loosen it up, there's a lot of play. Also, someone has been working on this, because it's already ejecting. The chuck is a pretty sad looking thing. The jaws are, well, they've been hit a few times. They're pretty worn. Nice and wobbly. Alright, I'm gonna take off the motor, remove the spindle to save the cone pulley. It might be handy. I'm also gonna save the slides, and I'll try fitting the legs on the lathe that I'm fixing up. But the rest is gonna go to the scrapyard. I would like to know who made this, when it was made, model name, things like that. So if you know anything, please put it in the comments. Alright, that's it for me. Have a good day.
Up next, a testing video, so get ready for some chatter.
Well, I can't scrap this lathe without ever testing it. So I stitched up the belt, tightened up the gips, put on some oil, and I chucked up a piece of aluminium. This chuck has quite a bit of bell mouth, but with the soft aluminium it still grips it okay. So here we go. It's wobbling a bit. Let's move the camera. Better than expected. I don't know how good this tool is. Let me turn around the insert and see if that improves things. Someone modified this tool holder. They took off a bit of the top so that the insert will sit at center height. Okay. Let's also speed things up a little. 630, 660, 670. Alright, 670. Yeah, that'll be fine. That is quite a bit better. The spindle starts sounding like metal on metal contact. There's a it's hardly noticeable, but there is a bit of heat in there. Up here you don't feel it. Whole lot of grease in there. And it's quiet again. I guess it could use some oil. Oh, that's terrible. Let's see if the tip of the tool is still there. Yep, that looks fine. Quite a finish, huh? Okay, one more try with some high-speed steel. No lathe test can be complete without doing some drilling. But there is a problem. A standard arbor won't fit inside this quill. And I think that at some point they bored out this quill from a Morse taper 1 to a Morse taper 2. and the I can show you the hole isn't completely in the middle of the quill. It's a bit off center. This part here is narrower than that. So that doesn't promise to be very good. But fortunately, the arbor that I made from an old tractor part does fit. Okay, here we go. That doesn't look promising. I know I should center drill. Well, it's clear that this hole is not gonna get drilled. It is too far off center, and it's more of a boring action than drilling. Well, at least I know the motor is good, so I can reuse that on the other machine. I proclaim this lathe the winner of the official WWLC title, the world's worst lathe competition. I can do that because I'm judge and jury. And its prize is a one-way ticket to the melting furnace. Well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. If not, too bad, but you won't see this lathe again.